my hand, picking wild berries off God's land, and drinking my buddy's homemade wine. Living Northwest wild, hunting, fishing is my kind of style. I float the Wainuchi when it gets hot. I'm proud I own the things that I've got. I'm digging in moss bags up in the sand, and after work a cold beer in my hand, picking wild berries off God's land, and drinking my buddy's homemade wine in the Northwest wild.
Yeah.
Hey, good evening and welcome to Fish Hunt Northwest. Waiting on Tommy Donlan, Josh Mannon back there in the corner doing his deed. Finally back together, everybody in studio. Tommy,
Yeah.
It's been, geez, I don't know.
I know.
3-4 weeks?
It feels like it's been a couple months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe not
I barely
long
even
enough.
recognized you.
Yeah, but we are back here in studio. Glad to finally be back. First show of 2021, my friend. 2020 is behind us as far as we know.
Thank God.
Huh?
Hopefully 2021's better. It's not starting out that way, but we'll see.
Yeah, a little bump in the road already. Yeah, we're not even going to go down that road. There's
No.
you know, turn off the news, go fishing, go hunting, do something productive. Too much negativity out there. We got to make it a positive. So if you are tuning in tonight for that, we thank you. I guess I better sign on to my restream here and see who's all logging in. Like I said, first show of the new year, and we are happy to be back in studio. We've been out and about getting some stuff done, a little fishing, a little hunting, a little crabbing, a little squidding as we wound down 2020. We'll get into that a little bit. Just got back from off the road on a great duck hunt opportunity this last week that we'll take a look at. We got Steelhead to talk about. Once the rivers drop, of course, we've had a ton of rain.
Yeah, we have.
We've never had so much water here at the lake. It's unbelievable.
I know. It's almost up to your back patio.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I think you just said that.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Before we get too far along, I want to remind everybody that Fish Hunt Northwest is presented by Better Homes and Gardens Pacific Commons Real Estate, located in Puyallup, Washington. Of course, our good buddies out there at Defiance Marine, manufacturers of Allied, Defiance, and Arima. And that 21-foot hardtop Mustang is not too far away.
Yeah. What are the coats of paint on there? Good to go?
Coats of paint are on. Stephen called me the other day and said, hey, we're about ready to bring her back and get all the componentry going. So working out the electronics package with Ray Marine right now. Can't wait to start running their gear. We'll get that all dialed in. So Ray Marine, brothers from another mother.
There.
Huh? Yeah.
I'll have to go over and sneak some anchovies in the stringer grid.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Just put them
a
in
little
there.
present for later.
It will become apparent soon. Hey, we also want to introduce and welcome Phoenix Protective Corp as a new contributing sponsor, title sponsor. Tied in with them this summer. Great folks over there, JC and the folks. And the reason they want to tie in with us, Tommy, is because a lot of folks that fish and hunt are retired or ex-military.
Yes.
Police agencies, what have you. Phoenix Protection Corp is probably one of the predominant security protection companies in the state of Washington and Oregon, California, Alaska. They're well established and they're always looking to hire folks. So if you have military background, they are worth your time to give them a call. Fantastic company to work for, and we are happy to have them on board.
Yeah,
they're going to be a great asset to Fish on Northwest. So okay, with that.
How can people contact them, or how do they get a hold of them?
Yes, great point. Go to www.phoenixprotectivecorp.com and check out. They have an entire layout of everything they got going on, and you can sign on there to interview, as they are constantly hiring folks. Good company to work for, benefits, the whole deal. So
awesome.
www.phoenixprotectivecorp.com. All right. Also want to remind everybody, hey, if you're only checking us out for the first time, we're glad you're here. Go to our webpage, www.fishhuntnw.com. Lots of great content there. Tommy, we're constantly going to continue to add more content.
Yes, we are.
As we move along into 2021 with all that we will be covering. And, of course, you can go right directly to our online store. And speaking of which, all this that Shing threw up here on the desk, she threw up on the desk. Yeah.
Killed it.
Look at that hat. These. That's your favorite.
This is probably my favorite. This is probably number 2
black
right
and
here.
camel. All the new hats are in. If you pre-ordered, and there was a number of you who did, and we thank you for that, your hats will be shipped here in the next couple days. Thanks, Josh, for putting that up on the old Restream. Lots of different patterns to choose from, even for the ladies. Did not want to leave you out. There's plenty of ladies in the outdoors, Tommy, nowadays, as we know. And, the hats are all there. The jingling jigs are there. The new camel patterns, the tiger camo, really nice. We got the flag pattern going on the sleeves. We got a whole bunch of new wares there for you to get after. So we appreciate you if you stop by our webpage. Give us a follow there. Sign up for our email list so you never miss when new content is loaded up on our webpage as well. So with that, we got quite a bit of stuff to cover tonight. A couple of phone guests. We're going to talk kokanee and triploid rainbows, maybe a little walleye on the east side. A friend of ours, Shawn Nickles. We are going to check in with our good buddy Matt Messin of Messin Around Fishing Charters.
Yeah, he got him today.
He did.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, man, there's a Blackmouth opportunity in Area 10.
Yeah,
and
looked like it was pretty productive today too.
Yeah, it's you never know what you're going to get first couple times out, especially with all this rain, all that suspended water, dirty water getting pushed out there in the sound. The water isn't like the upper layer anyway isn't exactly as clear as you normally would see it. So you kind of go, whoa, is it mixing or is it so? Conditions. Not always the best. That was one of the things going into this opener here, January 1, is this weather that we've had.
Oh, the weather was atrocious.
How about the wind?
Yeah, small craft advisory. I'm really interested. I'm really hoping that when we talk with Matt, he tells us that Puget Sound is absolutely loaded with bait.
That would be good.
That's what I want to hear.
That's what you want to hear.
Yeah.
So he found a couple today, so we'll check in with him later on. Also going to, we'll premiere our video from our outing this last week over there, Potholes Reservoir with Ross Outdoors Adventures, our buddy Shelby Ross. You've heard him here on the show a number of times. Phenomenal walleye fisherman over there and just a phenom on the duck and goose hunting. So we had opportunity to go over there, spend a couple days. Tommy, unfortunately, couldn't join me, but our newly adopted son, Dakota Poorman, came along for the ride and had an absolute great time. Also invited Rob Holman from Northwest Fishing Reports and good friend, longtime friend Bobby Loomis from Max Lure. We got over there in the duck blind for a couple of days doing the drop-off hunt. Fantastic, great time. I'm still working on my duck calling, but it worked out okay.
I heard you had a hell of a retriever.
Oh boy,
yeah.
That Dakota can fetch a bird. I'm telling you, that kid can paddle.
Sorry, brother, I had
to. Like no other. That mullet just kept him just cruising. It was like a dog's tail wagging in the wind. It was fantastic. Yeah.
It was like his mainsail, huh?
It was like his mainsail. So I had that going, which was great, and. Also going to jump into the bait lab tonight. Got a really good how-to spooled up. But these rivers are going to drop, Tommy, as much as we want to think that they are not. They are eventually going to drop. We got another week of a ton of rain coming, and they're going to bounce back up. For crying out loud, the sats up down the road here hit 40,000 Sunday when we were on the east side. So we've had high water. We have water that has changed the lay of the riverbed. There's no doubt about it. Things are going to look a little different when we finally get back out there. But for those rivers that aren't quite fishing yet, and once we get past this next big wash of rain and they start getting on the drop, hopefully, while they remain open, we can look forward to getting into some steelhead fishing. And with the artificial lure, single point barbless hook, no bait, no scent, none of that. What shotgun did you use? Oh, hey, Eric, I use a 935 Mossberg. Sitting right here, this cameled out one. We can talk about that in a little bit. The opportunity is going to be there. We're going to walk you through how to thread on your WFO soft plastic worms, how to thread on and tie up your egg clusters, how to rig and present beads, whether it's a vertical or bobber dog presentation. So I'm going to cover all that tonight in a how-to that's in depth, full of information. Get your notepad. It's stuff that you can definitely use as we get through the latter part of this steelhead opportunity. Yeah, we know, can't fish from a boat, but we can nonetheless get out there, wade the water, and bank fish if we can. So we have that to look forward to later on the show. Right now, you know what, Tommy? Looking back, 2020 are looking forward to 2021. I should say we got a lot of opportunity coming up. Once that boat gets here and we get some things rigged on it, I'm building a new set of side planers. I'm going to go bigger. Going bigger is better, right?
Yeah. Why are you going to go bigger?
Control in a little more turbulent water. This boat's going to handle a lot better than my Raider did, just from the way the boat's set up, rear steering helm. Motor's going to be locked in position. We can stay on a troll. I can control speed a whole lot better. I have built homemade side planers. I've also purchased the offshore brand, and they work pretty good. I've watched for the last couple of years guys that get it done have a larger scale size side planer. They have a different, a bigger size retrieval system, so to speak. I just want to up the game a little bit, have them side planers out to where I can get a wide swath. And so when the fish are near the surface and you're going over them with boats, you're going to disperse them out. And if you need to widen that swath out, we want to run multiple lines off of them, and your setbacks are like 150 feet. This is stuff that I've had the opportunity to do for a couple days over in Lake Michigan. Big side planers, lots of lines out the back, going for brown trout, and it's something to be held, man. It's a process. It's a system, right? So we're not going to be running 14 rods off the back of the old hardtop Mustang, but that being said, we will run a number of rods, and I just want to up the game and the controllability. And it's like any other troll fishery you take on. The more you dial it in, the higher your success rate goes up, right? Yeah. So when the wind gets blown over there and you start getting pushed around a little bit in a smaller boat and your side planers and line goes slack and whatever, you can do away with all that. And you can stay on top of your game, and you can kind of build that system, and that's what we're going to do. This is the year of really dialing in that side planer, and we're going to run them over there. We're going to run them in Wyoming again. 2021 is, I'm excited. Yeah.
I'd be interested to do a coast-to-coast comparison, because I know the striped bass guys on the East Coast are also running side planers, and they run a hell of a lot more than just 2 lines per person. So I'm curious what similarities there are.
Yeah, well, we may have to dial somebody in that pulls that program. And so just kind of, some projects to work on as we wind up and get ready for the delivery of this boat here, and things to look forward to. And we're going to delve into that later in the show. We're going to really get into a lot of the things that we want to get out and do this year. Some out-of-state big game hunts. Some maybe some group pheasant opportunity. We'll talk about possibly we'll do an invite back to Roosevelt again. Get you guys over there. That was a great time last year.
More halibut, more lingcod.
More halibut, more lingcod.
More coastal salmon.
Yeah, tuna trips this year for sure. Yeah,
tuna in Cabo. Tuna in Cabo. So, don't forget, we got to put that together.
That's right.
Too.
We got to get that on the calendar. So, lots to look forward to. We'll wrap the show up with that. Couple things that kind of just made its way through the wilderness wildlife news this last week. There was a good story. Andy Walgamont over there at Northwest Sportsman's Magazine wrote a great little piece on kind of recapping the status of wolf management. Something we tend to pay attention to from time to time. Now, as we wound down the year 2020, there was discussions that the feds were going to delist the wolves here in Washington State and/or actually in the Northwest, which would include Oregon, and they did, right? And as of January 4th, Washington, Oregon wildlife officials were handed the full management of wolves across both states. U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service delisted. A delisting was made official in the Federal Register. So Washington and Oregon, you own your wolves, right? Right on. You are now in charge of your wolves. And everybody was kind of like, well, all we got to do is wait for them to get delisted, and then the states will run them, then we can hunt them. Well, not quite there yet. The species was declared recovered in the Northwest to include Washington and Oregon late October. And now Washington, Oregon, again, they're responsible for their wolves. So what does it mean? Not too much will change, was written up in the article, according to the experts. Operations with the wolves, as the predators remain under state protections and no hunting or trapping allowed outside tribal seasons and in parts of the Northeast region. Okay, so not a whole lot's going to change right in the front. What it really means is that WDFW and ODF&W are responsible to manage their their wolves now. I'm not sure if they get, I didn't look into it, but I'm going to, if they still receive federal dollars on this now, or if it's fully on their dime. Mm-hmm. I mean, now you're talking, because this is a multi-million-dollar annual tab to manage wolves. You think about the tracking, the collaring, the helicopters, the issues that they have to go resolve with
interactions with farmers, and livestock.
And the payout, of lost livestock, as you mentioned. So there's a lot to it, and it's an expensive tab.
They could save a lot of money. 180 grain AccuBond's only like 50 cents.
Well, it's one of those things where they have certain numbers in that they have to hit, right? Yeah. And we know the Northeast is well inundated with wolves. The counts of this last year, 2019, 2020, we have 158 wolves in Oregon and 145 in Washington. They're actually now out doing winter counts for 2021, and they anticipate those numbers to bump, and we'll see if they bump up significantly or not. So just something to be aware of. We now own our wolves. I don't know if there's federal funding. I'll find out. That still is tied to that, but something to keep tabs on. Also, don't know if you noticed, we have a couple new Fish and Wildlife commissioners.
Yep.
Put that out there on the old Facebook page the other day as that was announced. Lorna Smith is one, and Dr. Fred Kuntz is another. They're both from the west side here. They fill 2 vacated west side seats. We still have a 3rd seat on the east side that needs to be filled, that Dave Graybill vacated. I spoke with Rylan Waithman a couple weeks ago as he had put his name in the running. I'm telling you, this is the guy. This is our horse. this is our racehorse right here. Ryan Waithman is more than qualified. Now, what concerns me is, and I don't know either of the current appointees that Inslee has put in there.
Yeah.
But as Andy did such a great job again over there at Northwest Sportsman's Magazine, let me recap a few of the bullet points just so people understand who these people are, what their background is, because that's important. And if you truly think they're going to be advocates for fishing and hunting, because that's what it comes down to, right?
Yeah.
So a couple things with Lorena Smith. Her bio with the Western Wildlife Outreach describes her and her husband Daryl as wildlife biologists, ecologist team. They've spent their careers working on wetlands, streams, watersheds, ecosystems, and wildlife habitat issues, as well as endangered species management. Okay, good credentials. It seems that they're very proactive in ensuring and recovery and saving everything, right? Okay.
How do they feel about hatcheries? That's really what I want to know.
Well, so
we got to have a hatchery turnaround.
Yeah, she served as board of director on a number of Northwest environmental organizations, over 30 years of experience managing large conservation projects, campaigns, directing staff, overseeing large-scale contracts. Kuntz has worked on wildlife and conservation issues over 3+ decades, including vice president. He served as vice president for field conservation at Seattle's Woodland Park Zoo. Okay, your questions are valid. It's like I don't hear a whole lot of.
I don't know what this means. I read it, I heard it, but what's the direction and the indication? I who knows? So as it was stated in here, there's a sense that the duo echoes Inslee's increasing willingness to pull in out-of-state environmentalist groups to step into commissioner's wheelhouse, much like we experienced on predator issues this last year with the wolf management. Inslee disregarded all the work that the committee had been doing for years and was listening to outside conservationist influences on how we should be managing our wolves. And as also stated here, the commission has had a varied voice over the decades, but the combination of Smith and Kuntz joining the panel at the same time gave several hunting and fishing sources serious pause. And I get that, because there is nothing in their resume that speaks anything or volumes of how proactive they are about hunting and fishing. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Everything is about conservation, recovery, habitat, and those are all good things. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But if that is your stronghold for 30 plus years and you've hardly ever picked up a fishing pole or a rifle for that matter,
right.
I just don't know how big of an advocate they are for the recreational hunter or fisher. Mm-hmm. That's my concern. Are we stacking the deck with commercial interests, folks who see the value in putting gill nets back in the Columbia River, and now we're backing that up with another group of conservationists who speak volumes about conservation and habitat and project recovery and all those things, again, which are good. And we're in contact with a lot of folks that do that stuff. But at a point, where's our recreational support?
Well, you have to have the recreational side, or else you're not going to have the funding required to continue the conservation effort.
Right there.
Right. So it's got to be a totally balanced approach.
Yeah.
And it's just, this is kind of the resume. It doesn't really give you, though, the vector, the direction, or the magnitude of where these two stand.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'd like to speak with
And we've had a hell of a time. If you look, as you know, our hatchery production has been decreasing year after year after year for approximately 30 years, maybe more. And we really need somebody that's going to booster that and make that a primary focus and a priority going forward.
And predation control.
Exactly. And
Tremendous predation control.
And it's hard to read that out of the description.
I completely agree. The only reason I bring that to you guys is because not everybody has the time or the means to, surf around the old interwebs or the social media and truly grasp what's going on. These seats were filled rather quickly by Inslee. There's one more, and I'm telling you, Rylan is an avid and very accomplished fisher and hunter on the east side of the state. He's also an attorney, very well educated, understands law, has taken the couple 1,000-foot view of what the commission's been up to the last few years and has finally said, I've had enough. And, I tip my hat to him for throwing his name in the ring. And I hope Inslee gives him due consideration because I feel like from a recreational standpoint and representation from the recreational community, he is a worthy individual that would serve us very well in that capacity and kind of tote the line when we always want to lean so heavy to one side, right? And the stopgap measure always seems to be on the rec side, whether it's fishing or hunting, land access, management, whatever. So we got to have a voice in there too. So hopefully we'll see where this goes. We're going to continue to follow it. All right. With that, we're going to jump out for a quick break. For those tuning in, hey, don't go anywhere. The breaks are short. And we are going to get Shawn Nickles from Kokanee Junkies group off of Facebook. Shawn and I have been communicating for a few years. He was over there on the east side, keeping the roadways open during the snowstorms, right? And in his spare time, he is on the boat and on the water and very successful. They got a kokanee a few weeks ago, this winter kokanee fishing on Roosevelt. He pulled one out that was almost 6 pounds. It was 5'9" something. He can remind me exactly what it was. But when the kokanee in the wintertime, Tommy, out of Roosevelt are already that big, and there's been a number of fish and lots of, our buddy Austin Mosier's over there doing it. Troy Black, he's on vacation in Hawaii right now, so he couldn't join us tonight. But there's guides out there getting it done, and they're posting pictures of those 2 to 3 pound fish and whatnot. I figured, hey, let's talk to a recreational guy who has it dialed, willing to share information, has been doing it for a long time, knows the kokanee, knows the rainbows. We may even talk a little bit of walleye. We'll do all that when we come back after this quick break. We'll have Shawn Nickles on the phone. Don't go anywhere. We're back right here, Fish on Northwest.
Marine is the one-stop shop for the Pacific Northwest angler. Whether you are looking for a small skiff to fish the Sound or rivers or a huge offshore tuna machine, Defiance Marine has it. At Defiance Marine, be sure to power your boat with a Honda outboard package. Take advantage of the reliability and 5-year top-to-prop warranty on your Honda outboards. Our service department is always here to help and serve you as the customer. Did you know Defiance Marine has boat financing experts to help get you the best term rates on your new boat purchase? If you need financing for that new boat, call us today. We guarantee the best price, best service on a repower for your current boat. Defiance Marine is a Honda Premier dealership and one of the largest on the West Coast. Defiance Marine also carries all the gear that you will need. Everything from auxiliary kicker motors to fishing tackle and bait. Defiance Marine has certified technicians that are top-notch at their job. Some of the best in the Pacific Northwest at evaluating your boat issues and problems. Stop in today or give us a call for all your needs at Defiance Marine.
Today, the need for quality private security services is at an all-time high. Contract Security Service provides day-to-day peace of mind as they protect people and property. Phoenix Protective Corporation strives for excellence. Above all, Phoenix security officers are managed by leaders trained to inspire and encourage greatness. Here at Phoenix, we provide service for multiple state and federal contracts, with service ranging from uniform, patrol, alarm monitoring, canine detection, executive protection, as well as investigative work. We here at Phoenix are looking for highly motivated individuals to apply. If you're a vet, retired or active, and would like to work with us, please apply.
Hey, welcome back, Fish Hunt Northwest. Duane England, Tommy Donlan, the in-studio and first guest of 2021.
That's an honor.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to dig deep for this guy. He's busy, right? So, Shawn, Nickles, Kokanee Junkies, how you doing, buddy?
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for taking the time. I mean, it's not something you normally do, get on the phone and talk, to several hundred folks about kokanee fishing, but glad you're willing to do so. But before we jump into that, at the break, we were talking about Ryland and just a little background on him and the fact that you know him. You strongly feel that he would be a more than worthy support individual on our commission for Fish and Wildlife with Washington, don't you?
I feel he's a strong advocate for the cause. He's I've known him. I've gotten to fish with him 1-to-1. I've gotten 100% for us, the outdoorsmen. He's gonna fight for us. Like you said, there couldn't be a better man for the cause.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, you've been over there east side and tearing it up on Roosevelt and CHELAN and whatnot. Let's talk a little bit about that Roosevelt fishery. Right out of the gate, as it started here towards the end of the year. How would you gauge its performance? I mean, average, a little above average. What do you think?
Well, this year's been a little different. It's kind of par. Started out, they started drawing that water down in December, and it was actually starting to look pretty good. Fish were, starting to stack up a little bit, and it seems like the numbers to me are a little down. They're spread out, but you put the time in, and you're going to catch them. And this last couple weeks, it's really dramatically changed with the runoff, the rain. Last week when we dumped in, it was pretty much up at full capacity. So the bite's been a little tough. So I think
what do perfect conditions look like over there on the lake? Like weather, water. Talk to us about the conditions. Yeah.
For me, the conditions, I like it a little ripply. I like colder weather. I personally like it when that water stabilizes for a few days. Hopefully they start dropping it again. When they start dropping it, starts pulling that food down the lake, and it seems to bring the fish with it. So it starts pulling them more. They start gathering a little more. So
did you, with that high water, did you experience a lot of floaty debris? Did you have a lot of wood out there on the water?
Yes. So last week, even now, I'm getting lots of reports from friends. There's a lot of hazards out there. There's logs, there's sunken logs, especially on those current lines. It's starting to pull up in the bays where, it gathers. There's a lot of deadheads out there, a lot of debris in the water. It's making tough fishing where you normally fish.
Yeah, probably better wait till daylight to get out there, and especially if you're going to get up on step, huh?
Yeah, I would. Especially the guys like me. I motor from Spring Canyon all the way up. You're running 12 miles. You be real leery right now.
Yeah. So what areas should guys kind of focus on? Where are these fish congregating? Are they not all clear down by the dam as of yet because the water is still up a bit?
Well, as you know, there's kokanee in the whole contributary. They're scattered all the way from Hunters all the way down. Right now, to be honest, everybody's pretty much Keller to Lincoln's pretty much been the target of the fishing right now.
Okay.
You can spend all day looking for them, but they've been more concentrated in that section in the last month. So that's pretty much where we've been targeting. I launch at Spring Canyon, run all the way up.
Mm-hmm.
So
now what don't like them there. Why are those fish in that area?
It's just where I think the food is, and it's just where all the food's gathering, and it's just where the higher concentration. They're up river this time of year, and until that lake draws down, it'll pull the food down, which brings the fish with the food.
Gotcha. So I'm a tuna fisherman, and I can see bait in an area. I can see activity. So when you have food in an area, when we're talking kokanee, they're on these like zooplankton or the equivalent, right, for the lake, and they're eating really small shrimp. Is there a way that you can tell, either with your sonar or visually or by looking in the water, or is there any cue as to the fact that there's a lot of bait in one area versus another?
That's the thing about like Roosevelt. You got to put your time in and kind of target these areas because it's constantly fluctuating. I mean, one day you can be in a bay that's just totally loaded with fish, and the next day that bait's moved out and those fish are down the river or up the river. So it's kind of a deal where, you got to put some time in, do some networking with people because those fish are constantly moving until that lake really draws down. In the winter, super concentrated, and you can pretty much target them in the same areas every day. Yeah. Right now, I basically am working the deep, like the current lines. I'm working the deeper water because those fish are out deep right now. They're not in. You'll find a few in the bays, but I'm targeting deeper water. They're super shallow, top 6 feet of water, and that's pretty much, you don't really see them on your sonar because they're so shallow.
Yeah. So top 10 feet, top 6 feet, but are you out there in that 250, 300 line?
I pretty much right now, I'm focusing on anything from 200 to 300. I pretty much zigzag until we kind of find them we're working the seams. And when we find them, that's pretty much, I'll work that area until, it's pretty much dead.
So, downriggers barely if you want to for control or full on side planer show. And, any lead on you got any lead rods running, or are you just, dragging just, Dodgers with, lures?
So basically the way I work it, pretty much, like this time of year, I'm not running any riggers.
Yeah.
So we're really either long lining out the back of the boat, running either like a slider with a 1/4 ounce weight or a 3/8 weight on it with a Dodger, or we're running the offshore. I don't have a mast with the big boards, which I'm setting one up next week. So basically, I'm running all planer boards, or the offshore 12-inch.
Yeah.
I run them at 40, 60, and 80-foot sets from the boat. And this year, I've gone to a heavier Dodger, and basically I'm not running any weight. So what I've done, instead of going out 160 feet out behind my boards, I've choked it up to 60 feet on all my boards. And it's been really successful this year, really successful.
So bigger Dodger behind the board, no weight.
Exactly. That's what I've taken the weights completely off. I've gone to heavier Dodgers, and basically we're running the micro squids and we're running micro shrimp, and we're running 12 to 18-inch leaders on those, and it's been working really good for us.
Yeah. What size Dodger? What length or so?
I'm running the 5.5. I don't know if I'm supposed to. I've been using the Superflies Dodgers, so I don't know if that if I'm supposed to, if I can say that. But that has been heavier, and they've been working. I've just started fishing them. I've been really happy with it, so it's been successful.
How about color? Any particular color on the Dodger and/or the squids, the shrimp?
This year, I've been fishing a lot of moon jelly Dodgers. It's been a lot of these summer days. When it's dark out, I've been fishing a lot of darker colors like blacks, mixed in with the oranges, purples, blues. When it's hot, but lately, for some reason, I've been fishing a lot of moon jelly. It's just popping, and they're taking it.
Gotcha.
So
bait and/or scent.
Well, basically, I've been a corn guy most of the time. I'm using orange corn, pink corn, red corn. But this year, for some reason, I fished over to maggots. I've been fishing pink, purple, blue, Berkeley maggots, and I've been curing everything in ProCure. Krill and shrimp has been pretty much money. Sometimes I'll have a little anise on there. But for some reason, that smaller presentation, and once in a while I'll throw a fly on there, like a tube fly. It's been working.
Hey, Shawn, you got a fan here that's tuned in. Scott Wilson says, let's talk about your maggot hoarding.
Seems to be an issue. Yeah.
Everybody seems to think I got stocks in Berkeley maggots because I like to hoard them.
Yeah, well, you get your hands on them, and other guys want them. Cost of doing business. The final key to this whole thing, putting it all together, whether you're running planers, whether you're clipping into your downrigger and dropping it down 5 to 8 feet, just so you know your depth, and colors and scent and all that, but it comes down sometimes to speed, Shawn. What kind of speed are we trolling, and are we going back and forth, zigzagging across current seam, across the river, or are we actually going up and down river with current flow?
It varies every day. I mean, sometimes the wind will be blowing a certain direction, and they're only going to be biting, with the sun to your back. So, I mean, it varies from day to day. And, you get out in the water, you just kind of try to get a feel for, are they biting going upriver? Are they biting on the zag? Is your gear dropping? Yeah. I mean, it's just all the little things. But for the most part, we're trolling pretty much 1.2 to maybe a top speed of 1.5. If the wind's not blowing, dragging you down the river. Sure. So, but we try to stay. I'm a slow fisherman. A lot of guys like to troll fast. Every lake I fish, I'm known as the guy. Even salmon fishing, I troll slow. Yeah. I'm just like a 1.2 guy. I don't know what it is.
Perfect.
So,
well, I think we covered it. I think we got the A to Z on the old Roosevelt. We didn't jump over to CHELAN, but, there's just only so much information you can pack into about 15 minutes or so. So appreciate your time, mister. Planning to get over there as soon as we can, and hopefully we can connect and spend a day or two on the water. That'd be fantastic.
Heck yeah, give me a call. Jump aboard. We'll go have some fun.
Sounds
See if
like
we can
a plan.
find something.
All right, buddy. Appreciate it. Have a great evening. Good to talk to you.
Hey. Happy New Year.
Yeah, same to you.
Happy New Year.
Yep. Check out Kokanee Addicts on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, haven't logged on with them yet, check it out. There's persons always posting up reports, Tommy. A lot of the east side activity over there, CHELAN. Even as they go fishing for those big triploids in Rufus, and you got reports from Roosevelt. Pretty good amount of activity over there when the fishing's good. So thanks for Shawn jumping on. Lots of information there. All right, we are, as always, even though I feel like I'm losing my voice, a bit long-winded, but we got some good content to get to. We had a pretty decent duck hunt this last weekend, Tommy.
Yeah.
Was wishing you were there. I enjoy watching Dakota fetch the birds. I would have liked to seen you in the little puddle jumper kayak as well.
I don't do kayaks without outriggers.
Anyway, we'll jump out for a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We come back. We got a full-on little segment episode here on our successes and failures over there at Potholes, Mardon area on a good couple day duck shoot in Conquer. So, on the honker. So, yeah, don't go anywhere. We'll be back right here, Fish on Northwest, right after this.
An Outdoor Emporium, is the largest local outfitter in the Northwest since 1975, providing thousands of people affordable outdoor gear. This summer, make your next outdoor adventure more affordable by shopping at our warehouse-style pricing. We are a local Scotty dealer, offering sales, service, and repair. Located in Fife and Seattle, come visit us today. The outdoors await you.
It's easier than ever to browse homes and connect with an agent on the go with Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate's mobile app. With the app, your home search is synced across all of your devices, so you can pick up your home search anytime, anywhere. Take full advantage of an enriched, mobile-optimized map search experience. Use location services to quickly find homes near you that match your search criteria. Draw your own map boundaries to find homes in a specific area, and apply layers to view school districts, neighborhoods, zip codes, and more. The app's user-friendly design makes it easier than ever to find a home you'll love. narrow down your search results, save your search criteria, and save your favorite homes. You can browse your saved homes in a list view that puts photos and key details like price and square footage right at your fingertips. Or check out your saved homes displayed on the map.
Dakota, what do you think?
It's good morning.
Yeah, wind's blowing a little bit.
Wind's blowing.
You know,
fling some
arrows.
Fling some arrows.
Yeah, that'll
fling some steel.
That'll be impressive.
If I could hit a duck out of the air with a bow and arrow, that'd be an
Let's just see if you can get one with a shotgun today.
Well, we'll try that. We'll see.
All right, well, here we go. It's still dark out. It's early.
It's nice.
We got to get on out there.
Good morning.
And go get it done. Good wind.
What is legal shoot?
7:15.
Okay.
7:15.
Duane's gonna be at.
Oh, that's easy. Let me introduce you to our Black Lab Dakota. Huh?
We've got a little smoked kokanee and
Holy cow, really?
some jerky, and we got all sorts of stuff.
Fantastic. We're gonna eat well.
It's gonna be a good day.
Mhm.
Yeah, it is.
Here we go down there. We got Rob Holman, Northwest Fishing Reports. Y'all recognize his mug. Yeah. And Bobby Loomis, our buddy Max Lure.
Morning. Gilly gilly.
Yes, sir. Gilly Gilly. And of course, our honorable retriever, Dakota Poorman. Wait a second. There we go. Yeah. What do you think about getting in that kayak this morning?
I prefer to be called a yellow lab.
Oh, you're a yellow lab. Okay. That works.
Or golden boy, golden retriever. How about that?
Golden boy. Hey guys, Duane England Fish on Northwest here on the water, in the woods. Kind of a culmination of both, I'd say, on the water, kind of in the brush. Out here duck hunting, Potholes Reservoir. Gonna be a good day. Weather's gonna be good. We got a little breeze this morning. Sun's coming up. Got Bobby Loomis sitting here, Rob Holman over there, and Dakota doing multitask, running camera, holding the light, fetching birds, paddling in a kayak. Yellow lab, as he likes to be referred to. Yeah. Gonna be a good day.
Golden boy.
Golden boy.
Golden boy.
We're bringing it to you shortly, so stick around.
Wait for him. Here they come. I'm the best looking guy on TV in sport fishing.
Really?
You're the best face for radio. That's what I've heard.
That's what I've heard.
God damn it. There goes 2 or 3. I'm ready for meat.
Oh, big root.
Do Yeah!
Oh.
Nice. Money. one?
Yeah,
Did you knock one? Nice.
He lit over the other pond. There was at least, I think, 2 in there.
Well, I got 3 rounds. I haven't touched his, so there's no gratuity.
The drip coming in at a bunch of them.
Here you go. One.
About had it with that shit.
Yeah. Oh, now on the water.
Hold on. Hold up. Time out.
Ah, she's taking off.
Too far.
Well, when they land, we gotta shoot them. That's being overly patient. Here they come.
Ah, winged it. Damn.
Got the first one though.
It's still alive.
That's my bird.
That's your bird.
Yes, sir.
You got a green head.
I noticed.
Don't think that's a compliment, Lane.
What? Mallard, isn't it? Yep. Another mallard, baby.
2 for 2.
2 mallards for Duano.
Duano the Insano.
Oh, 5 coming in. Yep. Got a greenie.
Got one.
You got a greenie.
Yeah!
Where'd mine land? Over there.
I got my first greenie.
You guys will get those birds.
Yeah.
Guys, it's the middle of the afternoon. We're about done for the day, but because we get out here so early in the morning and it's dark, it's hard to pin Shelby down and actually talk to him about Ross Outdoor Adventures and the Potholes duck taxi and all that's going on out here. So we're gonna take a few minutes this afternoon as we're winding down on our hunt and kind of pick Shelby's brain on everything he has going on out here. Now Shelby, you had a busy weekend. We decided to come over with a few guys that we typically hunt with, and you said, well, we're good to go. I just need to drop you off in a blind. You'll be set up and you're on your own. And I was like, okay, great. I'm a butcher at duck calling, but we get by. We had Bobby Loomis here with us yesterday. He does pretty well. We don't have a dog, but we have Dakota. So, and we have a kayak. Talk a little bit about folks that may want to come out and experience this via Potholes Reservoir and your operation, and exactly what they would be in store for if they choose to do this type of an opportunity. What are they looking at?
So we offer both guided and non-guided hunts. The duck taxi's been in operation since the 50s here on Potholes Reservoir, and so the guided hunt is just kind of what it sounds like. A fully professional guide, his retriever, cook you a really nice duck kebab lunch, and it's pretty simple. Show up at an hour before shoot, dock, everything's set up, step into the blind, load your gun, have a great time. Then the non-guided option is we set you up in a blind like you guys did here today. Set you up in a blind, your decoys are already set for you. Leave you a kayak to route and get your ducks. A lot of guys don't have dogs.
Unless you bring a dog, right? You can bring a dog.
They still get a kayak because if you need to chase a cripple,
there you go.
Need to move some decoys or something.
Gotcha.
So,
okay.
So all the non-guided groups get kayaks. And they're pretty handy. Marsh rats, stable. Life vest, and as long as it's not too windy,
they do well.
Yeah.
No, we used it a lot. Dakota retrieved at least 30 or so ducks for us. And he's very good at it. He brings them back, drops them, doesn't hold on to them too long, right? That's all
soft mouth.
Soft mouth, doesn't destroy them. Was at the door ready to go this morning, so I fed him, and he got plenty of sleep, so he's good to go. You're right, those kayaks are stable. You don't have to be an expert at kayaking to utilize these little vessels to get out there. And they work really well, and you kind of gauge it on if your ducks are just going to float out there for a little bit, great. If we got quite a bit of wind going and you see them things going on a pretty long drift, kind of, well, how far do you want to chase your ducks, right?
Yes.
Get out there. But again, if you got a bunch of birds coming in too, it's that 9-10 o'clock hour and things are really crashing, you got to kind of wait, go get your ducks. So you find balance, you figure it out. But the fully guided option is great. We went live today on Facebook during our morning hunt for about an hour, 45 minutes or so, and I had a number of inquiries from folks. How much experience do you need? Can I come out there and do this as a novice? What's the best way to go about it? How do I get a hold of them? So you can be a novice. You can come out here and book a trip with you through Ross Outdoor Adventures, and kind of get it under your, under your wings, but try to get some time in the blind, understand shooting, understand how ducks come in, work with you or one of your guides in the calling realm and how that all works. And then once you want to take that on yourself, you don't need a ton of experience, but it helps to have a little bit. Don't you think?
Just a few of the. A lot of groups will go do a guided hunt once or twice. Get the way of the land, and they're off and running. And, a lot of people are intimidated by the duck calling, and they kind of have a little bit different take than a lot of people. If you have ducks at a distance that aren't coming towards you, anything you can do to get their attention is fair game. So everybody in the blind should have a duck call, and you can absolutely scream at them to get their attention. Now, when they turn towards you and are coming towards you, then it's time to tone it way, way down. And so just as important to calling is knowing when not to call.
And that comes with time. I'm a novice duck caller. Been hunting waterfowl for a few years now, getting a little better at it. But it's not about coming out here feeling like you need to be the expert. You come out here just to relax and enjoy and learn new experiences, and then gain. Each year you come out here, you gain a little bit. You get better and better, and that's what it's all about. So for folks that want to come out and either jump in on a guided trip or do the self-guided, the drop-off via the duck taxi, what's the best way for them to get a hold of you?
My website is rossoutdooradventures.com. To make a reservation, they actually call Mardon Resort, 509-346-2651. And they can call me with any questions, and I can fill in the blanks, or send me an email. It's on the website, and we'll put it together. But it's been definitely the year of the rookie. I've had dozens and dozens of groups who've either never duck hunted or never hunted, period. And now with the hunter safety is all online now.
Right, good point.
And so get the hunter safety done, go to the range and get a couple hundred rounds under their belt so they know how the gun functions, and they can come out and shoot ducks.
Perfect. Well, there you go. Get a hold of Shelby Ross. He's going to hook you up. You're going to have a fantastic experience, as we did and always do when we come out here for a couple days. And don't be afraid to book a couple days, especially if you drive from the west side or out of state. Come join you here. You know what? You got accommodations you can help them out with. They had options to stay at the Mardon Resort there at the different levels of cabins or whatever. So accommodations, restaurant, it's all here. Well worth your time coming out. Shelby, can't thank you enough, buddy. It's
great to have you guys here.
Yeah. Season's winding down, but you still got time. All right, that's going to do it for us. We'll jump out for a quick break. We'll see you back here in studio. Hey, welcome back in studio. Here we are. Hopefully you enjoyed that. That was us out there for a couple days trying to act like duck hunters.
Yeah, the weather actually looked like non-duck weather. Looked perfect.
First day was we still had ice on the water, as you saw on the boat ride out there leaving mid-morning, and then you had pretty decent wind, overcast. Second day was quite a bit sunnier, almost a flat, calm pond in the morning after the breeze settled down, but that only lasted for, I don't know, less than an hour. Okay. And using that mechanical string duck, creating waves in the water, and just a little breeze from time to time to just barely turn them decoys a little bit. Kept the birds coming in, and then we got right past that about 9 o'clock or so. That wind kicked up. We had a good 12 to 15 sustained. Okay. And them ducks just kept coming in. So yeah, variance in weather over the couple mornings there, and a couple folks joining us there had a good time. Dakota had a great time. He has not. I think he told me he'd been out duck hunting one other time. So this was his first opportunity to kill some ducks. He got his first mallard, and
didn't look like he shot a decoy, so that's good.
He did not shoot a decoy. Yeah. Did not shoot a dog. So we didn't shoot our retriever as well.
Yeah, there you go.
So overall went pretty well. Okay, we're going to jump out for a real quick break. We come back. We're going to have our buddy Matt messing around fishing charters on the phone. My mic's cutting out. Talking about some Blackmouth opportunity, Area 10. Don't go anywhere. Be right back here in studio after this quick break here at Fish Hunt Northwest.
A Northwest favorite for almost 40 years, Arima boats are manufactured with pride right here in Bremerton, Washington. Arima Boats offers all of our boats with Honda outboard packages so that you can take full advantage of the reliability and 5-year top-to-prop warranty from your Honda outboard. With literally thousands of Arima boats on the water throughout the Pacific Northwest, Arima boats are a proven hull design that offers incredible fuel economy and all of the amenities that a serious angler is looking for. All Arima boats are built without any structural wood materials. That is why we back our boats with a lifetime warranty. All of our Arima boats are designed to maximize deck space while also providing ample seating. Contact us today at Arima Boats for all your boating needs and let us help you get out on the water.
Hey, welcome back in studio. Duane and Tommy Donlan here. We got our good buddy Matt Messin messing around fishing charters on the phone. Not a stranger on the phone in studio, a stranger to the studio.
I know. What's up with that?
Yeah. I mean, we graced him with our presence in his studio, also known his boat, right?
As the cockpit, yeah.
Yeah. So, how you doing there, bud? You got out on the water today. Pretty successful for you.
Yeah, we had a great day in the water, and you got a couple extra seats there, man. Anytime, I'm really good at warming chairs up.
Awesome.
Okay, well,
we'll have to take you up on that.
Get you down here in studio for sure. So give us a little recap of the day, if you will. Kind of, Area 10, crowded, not crowded. Did it meet your expectations, or did you not know what to expect? Just finally getting out there and, getting past this weather that we've had. Finally get out on the water. What do you think?
Yeah, Area 10, I kind of, honestly went in with low expectations. Really, after last year, really wasn't expecting a whole lot. But got out there, there are a good handful of guys out there today. But fishing was good.
Yeah, we
had some good action. Got a couple nice fish to take home. Not too many encounters with any wop. Most everything I touched was hatchery fish.
That's good.
And,
What are you running, Matt? Are you running bait, lures? What did you
lures,
find success in?
Hoochies. So you got your green glow. And then a herring aid flasher on herring aid 4-inch spoon.
Okay, there you go.
That's what the big guy came off of today, or big girl, I should say.
Yeah.
Really fat fish. Really had some good shoulders on her.
That's good. One of the things that kind of concerns me about this Area 10 Blackmouth fishery this year being the only show in town is that everybody's going to flock to the area. And I always worry about, some of the lures that you hear getting run for this winter blackmouth fishery. And when people really size down and they get into that coho killer mode, or they go, I'm going to run a 2.5-inch spoon, that's when you really run into Shaker City. And when those start getting reported, that season gets closed, in no time. So, how was it out there in terms of the smaller fish? Did you encounter a lot of them? It sounds like you were running, the 4-inch spoon, a little bit bigger stuff. So that's good to hear. What did you see?
Yeah, my goal is to stay away from the shakers as much as possible. So I usually, I love running hoochies. Usually, you kind of stay away from the shakers, running the hoochies and stuff. Most of my, shakers today were, between 16 to 20 inches. So they weren't the really small guys like we're used to when you're running the coho killers. You get a lot of the 10-inch, the really small guys.
Yeah, and we're up against a 600 wild fish encounter, I think. It's a narrow margin of error there. So, if, to Tommy's point and your point, Matt, if we're running that small gear and we encounter a lot of them little guys, it's going to bring this thing to a grinding halt. We'd like to see it at least last through the month of January, if possible. Yeah. But man, that's 600 fish, wild fish encounter. That's a pretty tall expectation.
And pressure is anticipated to be high as well.
Well, just lack of area, right? Right. You can come down here to Area 13. Matt, bring your boat on down to 13. We'll spend a day going after nothing, and then we can come in here and do the show. How's that sound?
Right.
I mean, let's just go burn fuel. Why not? Or bring the inner tube with us. Why not?
There you go. We'll put Duane back there.
I'm on it.
Yeah, you got a wetsuit, don't you? Let's go tubing.
Anything you wear once you get in the water is a wetsuit, so it doesn't matter.
One of the things that I'm really curious about, Matt, your day on the water, what were you seeing on your Raymarine sonar in terms of bait? Did you see a lot of bait?
So what I did, I leave from Brownsville. I got out there, I started at President's, kind of trolled around, didn't see much. Jumped up, ran into a ton of debris. So that's when I jumped at Kingston. Ton of debris. So watch out, guys. A lot of logs, a lot of sticks, a lot of stuff out there.
Did you have a flood this morning? You fishing that incoming, or what was your tide?
Yeah, it was incoming, but I said, whatever. I ran over to Kingston. I started right at the tip, worked my way kind of north, and that's when I, started banging some fish.
Okay.
Right on. Are you getting them right on the bottom?
Yeah, right on the deck?
Yeah, I really... Yeah, I bounce bottom. I just bring it up a foot or two, and just kind of pay attention to it. Normally in the past, I'm really adamant about, just bouncing. Sometimes I'll just work that downrigger and just bounce that downrigger ball a lot. But I really didn't have to do that today. It was just kind of, set it and forget it almost. Just kind of, I was just fishing that upper shelf and just working that really good.
Right on.
What depth of the line you're running? How deep water are you fishing?
85, 95.
Yeah.
Right in there. Sometimes you kind of come off the edge there or whatnot, but I was just kind of staying shallow. I got my little spots within the spot, that I kind of kept hitting and kept, getting good hookups. But, luckily, most of the fish were on the kind of the bigger size, just like an inch shy, on a few of them.
The bait
all hatcheries,
Oh, that's good. The bait that you're finding, is the bait right on the deck? Is it the candles or is it suspended?
I didn't see a whole lot at Kingston, maybe a couple little bait pockets, but there was fish there. I wasn't the only guy that pulled some fish out of Kingston from what I've heard today. But
now you got me really curious. Yeah. You got me really curious. So
I found a lot of bait today, but it was way inside on Brownsville.
Oh,
I went way inside. We got our 2 fish, and I was like, hey, let's go do some exploring, and found a lot of bait, but just 0 fish.
Was there anything in the stomach of those fish that you caught today?
Nothing.
Empty.
Nothing. Empty.
That does not make me happy.
Yeah, there's nothing in those bells. They were bones. I even sliced them open and it was empty.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What color on them hoochies? I don't think I caught that.
The chartreuse, the green.
Okay.
Green glow.
Yeah. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
And then just herring eight on herring eight, and using that Gibbs lemon lime flasher. That's kind of one of my go-tos out there.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I really like running that. Yeah.
What are you running for leader length on the hoochies, and how fast are you trolling?
Troll speed, was around 2.8 knots. I kind of tried to keep it. I tried to keep it a little faster, try to keep those little guys off that stuff. That's part of, trying to keep the shakers away.
Yeah.
I'll bump it up a little bit if I am, just kind of getting those 12 inchers or something like that, but, yeah, it worked out.
Awesome. Yeah. It looks like you had a successful day on the water.
Yeah. It worked out good.
Perfect. So you got a few more days, obviously, to hit the water until we come up against that quota. What's the best way for folks to get a hold of you, book a trip, because they're definitely going to come out and enjoy the day?
Hit me up, Instagram, Facebook, or look me up on Google. Give me a call.
Sounds like a plan. Easy enough.
Yeah. It's you can find me anywhere, messing around fishing charters.
Find me anywhere.
Anywhere.
Fishing charters.
Just look it up on that Google stuff.
All right, I may have to get on there and book a trip because my boat is not ready until maybe February. So I may be giving you a call. Go check out some Blackmouth with you.
Yeah. So far we're off to a good start. We'll see what happens.
Perfect, buddy.
All right.
Always appreciate you taking the time, my friend. Have a great evening.
Good luck, brother.
All right, guys. Yep. Have a good one.
Yep. We'll see you. Bye. Yeah. Not a bad start.
No, it looked like a lot of guys had good success today.
Yeah. I mean, those fish haven't been hit on in quite some time, and like we talked at the start of the show with the weather, wasn't a big mass pressure right out of the gate, so they kind of been trickling in out there. You could tell just by the way Matt's saying it, is like, there's a few boats out here. Again, opportunity.
Only show in town, really.
Only show in town. So, all right, going to jump out for a quick cough break. We come back, we're going to be in the bait lab for a how-to that's going to dial you in on rigging up your soft plastics, your worms, your egg clusters, your beads, how to fish them, bobber dogging, different rigs, and the gamut. So we'll do that with the WFO rigging tutorial. We come back from this quick commercial break right here, Fish on Northwest.
Allied boats are built by West Coast fishermen for West Coast fishermen. Deep V 21-degree dead rise at the transom guarantees a smooth ride no matter the conditions. Allied offers all of our boats with Honda outboard packages so that you can take full advantage of the reliability and 5-year top-to-prop warranty from your Honda outboard. Allied boats range from 19 to 32 foot in length, so no matter what type of heavy gauge boat you are looking for, we have it for you. All of our Corsair 21 foot and larger designs come standard with reverse chine that is welded inside and out with no extrusions below the waterline, so that you will never have to worry about corrosion problems down the road. Get out on the water today in a boat that you can trust and enjoy with Allied Boats. Contact us at Allied Boats today to learn much more about our incredible fishing machines.
New days, new beginnings, new friends, new loves, new dreams, new goals, new scenery, new job. No matter what the next chapter holds, Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate will be there to help you find the new that's right for your lifestyle at any stage of your life. Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate. Expect better.
Welcome back to Fish on Northwest. We're now live here in the bait lab, and I'm going to talk a little bit this week about some options you have when pursuing steelhead, especially as we get into this time of year and we're going to be going after those wild fish. Soft plastics, worms, soft beads, egg clusters, those types of things are a great alternative to add to your repertoire for presentation-wise when you're pursuing steelhead. So we have a number of items on the table here. Most of it is provided by WFO, and their worms and egg clusters and options that they now produce are just absolutely second to none. The amount of colors that they have in their worms that you can utilize when pursuing steelhead for all water conditions is absolutely fantastic. So one of the bigger questions we get here at Fish on Northwest is, well, how do you rig them? How do you fish them? Do I drift them? Do I bobber dog? Do I fish them suspended? Yes to all of that. Tonight I'm just going to cover a couple simple ways to rig them. I'm not going to put any on jig heads or jig hooks to show that you can fish a worm body as a jig. I think most people got that one pretty well nailed down. Pretty simple option that you can utilize. I'm going to show you how to string worms onto your leaders, how to fish them inverted, how to tie and fish a double rig with soft plastics, albeit a worm and perhaps a soft bead. So one thing I want to look at is, you know, I like to take these soft plastics and oftentimes I will use them for bobber dogging or I'll even drift fish them. But for bobber dogging, it's our typical setup. Got our sliding float and our stick lead, and we're just talking about rigging this so we can fish a worm under our float on about a 28 to 30 inch leader. And when that's done correctly, or when that's rigged, that is simply going to hang somewhat inverted, kind of halfway up the leader. I put on a corky or a cheater or a fish pill, some type of fish or some type of buoyancy between the hook and the worm. It does a couple things. It adds a little extra buoyancy to it, but it also gives that a head on that worm. It gives it some additional contrast if you choose to mix and match colors. It also helps keep the worm from ripping off your line and going down the hook. It puts a nice bumper between your hook and the worm by putting simply on, again, a fish pill, a cheater, or in most cases I will use a little corky by YBC. So how do we get there? Well, it's pretty easy, okay? In most cases you're going to want to use a worm threader. It makes life a whole lot easier. And simply by taking a leader, I got a pre-tied leader here with about a 28-inch piece of monofilament on there. I'm running 15 or 20 pound test depending on the size of fish that we're going after this time of year. I might even bump that up to a good 20 pound just to ensure
I'm going to get the bigger fish out of the wood. Now I get that hook tied on there. Now I'm going to put on a corky, and this one I put it on basically upside down, which is the top end, recognized on corkies, your top end, your finish end, typically goes up, but in this case it's going to go down because this is fishing inverted. I'm going to slide that all the way down the hook and just leave that laying there for a second. Now I'm going to take my worm, and you can pick any color, any size. I'm coupling this purple worm with a chartreuse tail with a black corky with some chartreuse in. This is creating a little presentation of contrast as I put this all together. Now I take my worm threader. You can hold the worms and try to feed them on. Oftentimes you're going to find that you're kind of up and down, and that forces your worm to be on there not exactly straight on through. We want to try to get that straight through the middle so that the leader going through the worm isn't close to any side or surface of the worm, if that makes sense. I want to try to capture that right down the middle. I find it easiest if I leave the flat side lying right down on the table or whatever it is I'm utilizing to rig this up. And I'm just going to take my worm threader, find the middle of the worm up front, and we're just going to hold that nice and level, and we're going to push that on to about this midway point on the worm. Okay, if I go a little high, I can back it out, and I can kind of push that on through, keeping it in the center. Now I'm going to flip this over and I look. I don't have it close to the surface or pointing off any one side, so I feel pretty good about where that's at. And I'm just going to try to hold that in the middle and pop that on through, slide it down to the very end. Now my worm threader has a nice hole or an eye in the end of it, just like a big needle. Basically, it's all it is. So now I take the end of my leader and I'm going to put it through the eye of this big needle, and I'm going to simply carefully just slide this down so I don't tear the worm or do any extra damage. Now, instead of just ripping this down the line, I like to put my thumb over the hole that is created and hold that in check as I draw the line through there, okay? Now, I just butt that up on the very end, and basically that is ready to fish. Now, it will basically hang when it's suspended somewhat like that. You could actually fish that under a float if you wanted to, but it doesn't have enough weight. It's almost a neutral buoyancy. You add a hook, it puts a little weight on it, but I typically don't just fish these suspended under a float because it takes forever to get down. You don't have any weight on there. You could put a split shot or something on there to help get it down if you wanted to fish in that regard. But for me, most of the time, 99% of the time when I'm fishing this particular presentation inverted on a corky head, I am fishing that either drift fished or more than likely I bobber dog it, okay? So now you just simply tie that onto your swivel under your float and you're fishing. That's an inverted style. It works very well. As that moves through the water, it has a lot of natural action. It just kind of rolls and tumbles and the current moves it around. Seldom does it get hung up because the buoyancy of the corky or the cheater and your worm keeps that hook up off the bottom, and it does very well. Again, mix and match your colors to create contrast in all your options that you have. This red and black tail, simply put with a white corky or cheater on the head, creates that color contrast in that nightmare jig pattern that's been so productive for so many years for so many people. So mix and match, pick your colors, figure out what you want to put on there, and it works fantastic. Now, let's talk a little bit about, move that out of the way, let's talk a little bit about soft plastic beads, okay? So soft plastic beads have been around for quite a while. B&R is doing a fantastic job, and they have a lot of options to choose from. You can get different size kits from them and whatnot. Turn that upside down. All different colors and a lot of options, peaches and pinks and pearls, pearl pink, a lot of options in different sizes that you can choose from. This is a 20 millimeter bead, and the nice thing is they've also come out with these T stoppers that you slide on your line, so you no longer have to use bobber stops and various things to hold them in check. You want to pin these beads 2 to 3 inches or so above your hook. This is a wide gap hook, which really works well when you use these bigger beads, and you simply slide that T down your line, then you're just going to put this bead on there. These beads all come with a hole right through them. It's easy to thread your leader through there. And now we're just going to pin that on there. That thing will fish all day long, and it does very well. It holds up very well, and is, again, neutral buoyant with a hook on there. It definitely kind of moves around in the water and seldom gets hung up on the bottom. So the soft beads work well in their buoyancy, their color attractability, and how much they move naturally in the water. Just don't put an oversized hook on there. Typically I'll fish a size 1, sometimes a size 2, but typically I'll fish like a size 1. Don't generally go up to a 1/0 unless I'm pursuing much bigger fish out on the coast. And I want to make sure I got a big, strong hook that is going to hold up on them bigger fish. You don't want wire thin hooks bending out because you've come to the game underhooked, so to speak. So something to think about on your soft beads. Now, one thing that will happen on your soft beads when you are fishing them is that they can get hung up from time to time. And when they do, sometimes you're going to find that, let me set this down, that the bead will pop down past that T. So if you look at that, that is rigged incorrectly because here's my hook. The bead should be down here, slightly above my hook, and that T stopper should be underneath the bead, right? So this is a situation where I was fishing, perhaps it got hung up, I pulled it out, and it actually caused the bead to pop down below the T-stop. That is not a big deal, and you don't need to cut this off and put on a new bead or a new hook and setup and leader. Simply all you need to do is you slide this all the way up to the top, right to where it's going to stop against your swivel and your knot. So now my T-stopper is all the way up there. Now I have the bead all the way down at the hook. I'm going to slide it all the way up the leader. Okay, so now I have this in reverse order against the swivel, T-stopper, and bead, and I literally can push on this and pull it until it pops the stopper to the bottom side of the bead where it's supposed to be. Now I can just nice and gently slide this on down and reposition it. As you can see, I'm pulling that down the leader, and I'm going to put that back at the appropriate distance from the hook, which is going to be 2 to 3 inches, and I'm back to fishing. And that still grips relatively well. You want a little bit of friction on there so it holds in place, isn't sliding up and down all the time. So when you find that you get hung up and you pull it in and your bead is now hanging down here on your hook and your stopper is up the line, don't waste your time and recut it and redo the whole thing. Simply push that stopper all the way up to your swivel, pop the bead back over the swivel, and then slide the entire unit back down to your line. Get it in the correct area to where you want to fish. So now that I have my bead in position and I'm fishing a single presentation, but I've talked to you guys in the past about bobber dogging and how effective it can be to fish a double rig. A lot of guys don't know how to tie a double rig. This is a really simple way. So I like to typically fish a rag or a yarn ball, big yarn ball, or a bead of various sizes as my first presentation below my float. If I'm going to fish a worm, I'll either fish it single, or if I double it up, it's going to be the second presentation line because I want that worm being out there on the end of the line where it can naturally float around and wiggle. If I tie it into the middle of my presentation, it doesn't have the ability to move around as much. So typically I'll fish one presentation up higher, and if I'm going to fish a double with a worm, the worm goes on the second presentation. So how do we do that? So again, I rigged this purple worm with black head, color contrast. I'm fishing a pink bead, and between those two, I'm offering quite a few different options as far as color and what it's given me as far as options to look at. So when I look down at this and I have the purples and the pinks, I feel pretty confident that I'm giving them more than just one solid color to look at over the presentation of multiple lures here. So now, how do I tie this leader onto this hook that is going to be effective, strong, and not break when I get fish on? Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is lay the leader over the top of the hook. All right, and I'm going to hold it. I like to hold it to this side of the hook. So I'm just simply laying it over. Now what I want to do is I'm going to wrap the line around the hook twice. I need 2 wraps on this hook. So there's 1 and there's 2. Now the tricky thing is to keep it on the end here. I'll get my fingers out of the way in a minute. So as that has 2 wraps around, you can see that that I got 2 full wraps around the hook, and it's coming into the hook and going back out the same direction. Now I'm going to simply make 4 little loops in my fingers here. Okay, so here's 1, and you go under and then over. And I'm holding those loops all together there. So I go under and I go over. Under, over again, and number 4, under and over. So now I have 4 loops. Now I'm taking this running in. I'm going underneath the 4 loops. Going to pull that through. Now I want to elongate this. Don't pull it into a tight knot right away. Elongate that and then slide it down onto the hook. Okay? Don't use your teeth. Use your pliers. Bump that in tight. Snug it up again and trim off your excess. Now I have a second leader onto that hook. That knot is very strong and it holds up very well. If I hook a fish on this hook, it doesn't matter that this other lure or presentation is dangling below it. It does not interfere with that hook getting into a fish's mouth, especially if you're using somewhat of a wide gap hook for your top hook. Remember, this is the first presentation under the float, and it's this bead, okay? Now we've secured a second presentation on there, and as you look at that, you have the bead, you have a hook, you have a second leader, we have our worm. So now I'm casting out there. With my bobber dogging setup, I'm actually throwing 2 presentations. Again, the fly guys have been throwing multiple presentations for years, 2 or 3 in a row on some of their, trout fishing and whatnot. And so anytime I can double up presentation, especially with bobber dogging, soft plastics and whatnot in the water column, I will do that. For me, it's all about creating differences in types of presentation. I'm not going to throw 2 beads. I'm always going to throw like a bead and maybe an egg cluster, or a bead and a worm. If I do throw 2 beads, and it's rare that I would, but they would be different sizes and different colors. Okay, again, we're trying to create that contrast in color, give them options to look at, and so everything just doesn't always look the same. Real quick, as we finish up, something else I want to show you by WFO is these egg clusters. These work fantastic. Now, this is a 20 millimeter bead by B&R. This is an egg cluster, and WFO puts these at about a 19 millimeter egg cluster. So there's a few things I like to do with these. One, you can fish them separately on their own, just as that. You would string that onto your line with your worm threader, just like you would a worm. You just push that through, and now that is going to go on my leader, and it's going to fish just like a bead. I've tied these up. These are doubles. Basically, I've created more of a larger profile, bigger egg cluster in various colors. And how do we do that? First thing I need to do is take my egg clusters, because they are 6 points, and these will not marry together very well. At least I don't like how they sit, and they separate from time to time when they're on your leader. So I basically like to take these and take one side and snip off one of the points of those eggs, and then I'll do it with this one here. Okay, and now I have 2 flat sides. Okay, so that's basically a 5-point cluster, and that's going to end up on the egg or on your leader just like this. And that's pretty simple to do. I will take my pre-tied leader, and the one thing I will put on these to hold them in check, try not to lose my little sequin there. So I put on a rubber bobber stop, if you guys can see that. So that's going to hold it to the pinning location I want those soft plastics to sit. And I put on a little sequence of various colors. You can get these at craft stores. Again, remember, I tell you guys, it's okay to go to the craft store with the wife. Nobody's going to think anything of it. Matter of fact, you probably run into other fishermen and ladies in there who are actually getting stuff to create fishing lures. So a small sequence of various colors to match with your soft plastics is something that you can do. So I put that rubber stop on there, put the sequin on there, and I'm going to slide that down to the top of the leader. Now, I'm going to marry these up. So I'm going to put this one through the bottom side. It comes out through the top flat side that I created. And then I match this from the flat side that I created and out through the top, just like this. I'm going to slide these down to the eye and the needle once again. And if I can find that on the top there, I'm going to put that through and slide those on. Okay, so now I just slide those on down to the leader. And now, instead of a 19 millimeter, if I have a little dirtier water or a reason to have a larger profile depending on which colors I also select, because WFO makes egg clusters in a number of really good colors. I have now created something that looks to me like a very natural small cluster of eggs that most steelhead would definitely go after. And I just like the presentation of that dual on a single line like that. I think it looks very natural. It's neutral buoyant. Once again, it definitely floats the hook up, keeps it off the bottom, and they fish very well. Definitely fish are attracted to them. And if you're fishing in an area that still allows for bait and scent, by all means, go ahead and put a little bit of scent oil, you know, some Mike's sand shrimp or even some krill onto these egg clusters, or believe it or not, even earthworm. Mike's earthworm is a scent that not too many folks use for steelhead, but you should. So the dual egg cluster on a single leader works very well. Now I can run that with a bead, obviously different sizes and different colors, again creating that color contrast, but it gives you another option that you can use when utilizing soft plastics, and especially the soft plastics from WFO. So hopefully that gives you a little insight on some methods or uses for your soft plastics, whether you're going to fish your worms inverted. Again, you can also put those onto a jig hook and, you know, cut the worm a little short, feed it onto a jig hook, basically fish that like a jig, just a wormtail on a jig hook. Very effective for steelhead, especially when you're hitting pockets. Fishing around boulders and structure, suspended on a float works really well. Don't be afraid to use blacks with these chartreuse paddle tails or that bright pink. Those are deadly combinations, especially when you put them on the jig heads with contrasting colors. So again, some options to think about. That's how I like to rig some of my worms and my soft plastics. Give it a try. Pick up some WFO products pretty much everywhere or anywhere. Check them out online. Go to their Facebook page, give them a follow, and follow us each week right here on Fish Hunt Northwest out of the Bait Lab with another weekly how-to.
All right.
All right, welcome back in studio. Hopefully, that was a little lengthy and a lot of information there, Tommy, but...
A lot of detail there.
A lot of detail there, a lot of sequence, a lot of party favors, a lot of things to use. All right, that was a lengthy segment. With that, though, hopefully you guys got some good notes out of that. We got a lot of good questions coming in here. We'll try to answer as many as we can, getting to that, the break. We're going to jump out for a real quick break. We come back, we're going to close out the show with some things to look forward to, Tommy Donlan, 2021, and some plans we have here at Fish Hunt Northwest. So don't go anywhere. We'll come back for a quick wrap-up right after this quick break right here, Fish Hunt Northwest.
Defiance boats are built without any structural wood materials. That is why we back our boats with a lifetime warranty. All of our Defiance boats come standard with large fish boxes that are fully insulated so that you can ice your fish properly all day. Defiance boats feature a 21 to 22 degree dead rise at the transom and a large reverse chine for incredible handling and stability offshore. Defiance boats are foam flotation filled and unsinkable for the ultimate in safety while fishing offshore. Defiance boats feature fuel-efficient hull designs with large fuel tank capacity so that you can have maximum fuel range for making long offshore runs completely safe and affordable. All Defiance boats come standard with self-bailing decks for improved safety while at sea. Defiance Boat offers all our boats with Honda outboard packages so that you can take full advantage of the reliability and 5-year top-to-prop warranty from your Honda outboard. Defiance Boats for all your boating needs, and let us help you get out on the water.
Today, the need for quality private security services is at an all-time high. Contract Security Service provides day-to-day peace of mind as they protect people and property. Phoenix Protective Corporation strives for excellence. Above all, Phoenix security officers are managed by leaders trained to inspire and encourage greatness. Here at Phoenix, we provide service for multiple state and federal contracts, with service ranging from uniform, patrol, alarm monitoring, canine detection, executive protection, as well as investigative work. We here at Phoenix are looking for highly motivated individuals to apply. If you're a vet, retired or active, and would like to work with us, please apply.
All right, welcome back as we wind down. First show of 2021, Tommy Donlan.
Yes, indeedy.
Had a question on here asking about the particular knot. I was going to answer the question directly texting, but we came back, so I'll answer it here for everybody's enjoyment. Something about the knots that I was using in tying the dual rig and whatnot. I actually did a pretty in-depth how-to tutorial on knots, a number of different knots, and a full-on rigging our last show right before the holidays.
Yeah.
Pretty in-depth how-to. Everything from uni knot to tie your top shot monofilament to your braid, and then how to tie on a double rig or a dropper rig off a jig onto a bead setup. So all that relative to knots and knot tying and the knots that some of the knots we use is in that episode right before Christmas, the last in-studio episode we had. So hopefully you can go there and find it. Maybe before we get out of here, Josh will put a link right to that last show, if I can get him to do that. Okay. Tommy, moving forward, we have a number of things and opportunity coming up. You know, first of all, let's kind of recap. Winter crabbing for you this last season was pretty doggone phenomenal.
It was really good. You know, I'm not going to lie, at the end there, you know, the last couple of weeks of December, we definitely had to work for them.
Yeah.
You know, as we went further on in the month, a lot more soft shells that we were pulling up in the pots. So it took just a little bit longer to get keyed in to get our limits.
Yeah.
For sure, but
no, you got some crab in the freezer.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
No, I hit it 3 times the last 2 weeks of December, so
yeah,
0 complaints whatsoever.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
And the squidding, you know, went well. There's still guys out there grabbing a few.
They are.
I mean,
it's getting close to the end.
Yeah.
I think, you know, they're seeing a lot of the squid, the males. They don't have the sperm count that they had before.
Right.
Starting to see the numbers kind of dwindle down in terms of catch rates and things like that. But I tell you what, December was on fire. I mean, and when it was on, you're limiting in 45 minutes.
Well, and even the daylight.
Yeah.
Guys were doing well in daylight. Throw the crab pots, go get some squid.
Right.
Not often have we seen that opportunity and successful in both regards.
Yeah.
Right, in December. But this was one of those banner years for those two particular activities. And if you have any doubt, just contact the Squid King of Seattle.
That's right, Paul Kim. But that is why I was a little shocked when Matt said there was no bait or nothing in the stomach of those fish. And I saw quite a few pictures today of Blackmouth coming out of Area 10, and they all looked fairly long and skinny.
Yeah.
Like they weren't getting food, which doesn't make sense with the number of squid that are in the Puget Sound right now.
You would think so.
You would think that they'd be eating them up left and right.
Yeah, and just bellies, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like getting through the holidays.
That's how I feel, yes.
Like
yes.
Overstuffed blackmouth? Perfect.
Which brings us to the fitness point.
Brings us to the fitness point. Yeah, good segue. Go ahead and talk a little about that if you want to.
Well, I think we're going to have Mitch join us, right? We're going to have a fitness coach get on the show here at some point.
Yeah, so we have talked about this even a lot of last year, and just kind of one of those things as we, you know, get a handle on things here. We want to move into that next area of things we want to talk about, discuss, have as part of our show relevant content.
Yeah.
Fitness in the outdoors is kind of a big one, and to stay fit and be in the outdoors is important. So, Josh, you want to flip that camera? Are you just over there typing away like a little secretary? I look over here just
he was just
head down,
the camera
just
wasn't
going
on
for
him.
it.
Okay.
Anyway, yes, we are bringing our friend, Mitch Kelly Dempner in the studio to kind of kick this thing off here in the next few weeks. And the intent here, his resume, we're not even going to go into it right now because it is a mind blow. But this guy is an avid outdoorsman, great hunter, fitness. His knowledge in fitness is a mind blow. And we're lucky enough to get him on board. He's looking forward to bringing this to the forefront because he recognizes, you know, being fit and enjoying the outdoors not getting punished in the outdoors.
Right.
Whether you're packing out that animal or you're spending a day or two on the tuna boat or whatever it is, you shouldn't be sore the next couple days because you got out there and enjoyed a couple days of recreating in the outdoors.
Right.
So we're going to hold ourselves accountable to that. We're going to get going and get back in shape as we need to, and we're going to bring you along for the ride. Our webpage will be inundated with how-tos and videos and instruction and, workouts like the pack out, getting you ready for elk camp, right? 90 days out of elk season, we're going to put you through a workout that's going to have you ready for that trophy bull pack out that you've been working so hard to do. So,
and a lot of it too is just a couple things, right? Injury prevention.
Correct.
A lot of working out is injury prevention, and a lot of it is just playing longevity.
Yeah.
Elk hunting should not be considered a young person's sport.
No.
It should be something that guys and gals enjoy well into their 60s and even their 70s.
Agreed.
But if that's something that you want to be doing when you're 70. You really have to get on that right path right now.
Yeah.
And to be able to get there. So.
Yeah, it's a lifestyle. It's a life choice,
right.
Staying fit and maintaining that just so it's just part of your everyday. And so we're going to help you get there. We're excited to bring that content to you as well. I think there's value there. And it's something that we're both passionate about. So we're going to bring you along in regards to that. I may have kind of mentioned at the start of the show. Well, one thing, Sportsman Show, Puyallup for us for sure. In March 17th through the 21st, you'll see us starting to promote that, helping bring that along. Hopefully restrictions are somewhat diminished by then, though I guess we'll wait and see. 3 months from now, who knows where we're going to land, but their full intent is to bring the sportsman shows. They're going to knock them out of the park. Everything is in March, right? First, Puyallup is 17 through 21. The Portland show is the following week. We fully intend on having our booth back down at Puyallup show to stay, be there for 5 days or so, saying hi to everybody who comes by to say hi and buy our wares and just interact. It's a great time, and we hope we can pull that thing off and not have to wear a freaking mask. And I think it's that's a pipe dream, but
I hope so too, but we'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah.
So that's on the radar. Going to reach out to buddies over there at Miller Ranch, Scott Miller, and see if we can't put something together, depending, again, where we land with all this COVID stuff. If we can squeak that in sometime in March before he's, March, April, before he gets to the point where he's wrapping up for this season. I believe his season typically begins to wind up there around May when the rattlesnakes start coming out. So they don't do well with the dogs. So he kind of, anyway. Our group pheasant hunts historically have always gone very well. It's a really good time to bring a group over there. We can take up to 14 folks. It's a lot of fun to spend a couple days at the Miller Ranch.
Where is that?
Sprague. Okay. Sprague, Washington, about 3.5 hours. Not too bad. We will try to put together another Roosevelt Jamboree over there with seminars and whatnot. We'll probably get the Max Lure boys on board again. Had a pretty good showing last year, although it was kind of on the down low under the COVID radar, but we pulled it off. And so we're going to come back and try to do that again. We'll see if we're permitted to do so. And yeah, we will be dragging the new boat all the way to Wyoming once again. If you have ever wanted to experience Flaming Gorge and go after those phenomenal kokanee, we're heading that way again. And more info on that to come. You can't stay at my in-laws, but you certainly can stay down the road, and we can join up at the buckboard boat ramp in the morning and all hit the water. It would be a really good time, and maybe we can get a few folks to join us over there, either out of Utah or Wyoming, and have a good time going after those trophy world-class kokanee that you will find nowhere else, okay, other than Roosevelt from time to time. So just, things to look forward to, and you'll see us winding up and getting geared up for some out-of-state hunts. We hope to get out on a couple mule deer hunts this year, hoping for hoping for Wyoming, and in Montana. So we'll start putting that together. But yeah, we're looking at it positively, even with all that's going on. We're going to try to put a good season of outdoor activity together, and as often as we can, and schedule some group get outs and go do, we're going to make it happen. So that's what it's all about, right?
Amen.
Okay, with that, we are going to call it a wrap for show 1, season 3. Thanks for joining us. Great turnout tonight. Lots of insightful questions. during the week, continue to ask us questions via Messenger, post stuff on our Facebook page. If you have not, please do us a big favor. Jump over to our YouTube channel, hit the subscribe, follow us over there at YouTube so you never miss any of our latest and greatest content that we unveil weekly. And join us each and every week, Thursday evening, right here, 6 p.m. in studio. Looking forward to coming back next week with another up-to-date and fantastic new show. All right, Duane and England, Tommy Donlan, Josh Manning over in the corner. Nice job tonight, Josh. Well done.
Well done.
Yeah, I know you did. All right, we're going to call it a night. Thanks for tuning in. We will see you guys next week. Have a great week. Get out and do something. Enjoy.